Hi guys, this is Manas and welcome to my channel. So this time around, I'll be beginning a new lecture series on projection of solids. So without further ado, let's get down with the problem. So this is going to be problem number 1 and it goes like this. Draw the projections of a pentagonal prism, base 25 mm side and axis 50 mm long, resting on one of its rectangular faces on the HP with the axis inclined at 45 degrees to the VP. Now let us extract data from this description. So we have a pentagonal prism, all right, and it has dimensions in the form of base and axis. So the base is 25 whereas the axis is 50. Now one more thing that it does have is this inclination. It is inclined at an angle of 45 degrees to the vertical plane. So any inclination associated with the vertical plane is represented by phi, and phi has been given as 45 degrees. All right, angle made with VP. One more thing, there is this condition that says resting on one of its rectangular faces. So while making its projection, we've got to ensure that one of its rectangular face lies in absolute contact with the horizontal plane, and we have to do justice to this condition. All right.
So guys, this over here, this solid object in front of you is what you call a pentagonal prism. All right, it has a pentagonal shaped top as well as a pentagonal shaped bottom or base. All right, so these two pentagons are regular and both of them are absolutely congruent to each other. So this is the top, base, and this over here is what you call the height of this pentagonal prism. Now, as far as the question is concerned, these are the 5 edges and all of them are equal to 25 millimeters, and this over here is what you call the height of the pentagonal prism, which is equal to 50 millimeters. Now we have been asked to solve this problem by ensuring that the axis makes a certain angle with the vertical plane, and that certain angle has been given as 45 degrees. So what needs to be done is, there are certain conditions which are to be followed. The first condition is that we've got to ensure that one of its rectangular faces. Now guys, you can see there are as many as 5 rectangular faces, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Out of these 5 rectangular faces, we need to ensure that one of those rectangular faces remains in absolute contact with the horizontal plane. Alright, so the pentagonal prism has to be oriented in this manner, and at the same time we need to ensure that the axis starting from this point to this point over here should be kept at an angle of 45 degrees with the vertical plane. So what we need to do is, this is going to be our step number 1. Alright, and the true shape of this base can be seen from the top, and hence you have to begin by drawing this front view first, and then accordingly its top view can be made. So this is going to be the top view, alright, some kind of a rectangle. Step number 2 is going to be by inclining this. So we've got to ensure that this particular prism makes a certain angle with the vertical plane. That angle is 45 degrees. So this is going to be a step number 2, where we are going to alter, or where we are going to modify the top view of step number 1 by tilting or inclining it at an angle of 45 degrees, and accordingly we are going to draw the final front view in step number 2. So that's exactly what we will be doing. Thank you for watching, and let's now head over to drawing sheet, and I'll head over to AutoCAD to explain you how all these things can be implemented. Thank you.
So guys, now that you have seen the orientation, let's start by drawing the pentagon. And you have already seen how the pentagonal prism has been kept in this way. All right. So we are going to start from this. We are going to draw this front view in the shape of a pentagon, and then we are going to create its corresponding top view. So we are going to be starting with drawing this pentagon in the front view, and then its corresponding top view will be made. So let's head over to AutoCAD, where I'll be showing you as to how all these things can be implemented. So we have this line over here, an XY line. You can clearly see this, and then I'm gonna draw one more line from here at an angle of 108 degrees. So this line is going to have a length of 25 millimeters at an angle of 108, and then same stuff, this internal angle is going to be 108 degrees. That's it. Now the next thing to do, guys, is we need to put 2 arcs, one from this and the other one from this. All right, so we're gonna put in a 25 millimeter arc. Okay, and this arc will be cut by another arc whose center is going to be this point. That's it. So this is the intersection point. You can clearly see this, and what we're going to do now is we'll join this intersection point with these 2 points on its extreme left and extreme right. Alright guys, so now this is what you call a pentagon, and let's delete this construction process, and I'll be darkening all these points. Okay, fine. Now there are 5 corners at the front and 5 corners at the back. I'll show you the figure. 5 corners at the front, and similarly we have a pentagon in the back side also. It also has 5 corners, so we're gonna name them. So front 5 corners will be named by 1 A B C D E, whereas the back 5 corners will be named by 1 2 3 4 5. All right. So guys, now that we have created the front view, we are now going to draw its corresponding top view, and for that we are going to look at this object from over here, that is from the top. Okay, that's why I've made this arrow. Now let us keep this pentagonal prism at a certain distance away from the vertical plane. Let us say the distance is 2 centimeters. All right, so let's do this quickly. Okay guys, you can see this distance has been taken as 20 millimeters. Okay, now this is obviously, this was 25, you all know that. Fine. Now I'm going to bring these so-called projector lines downwards. Somewhere here. Well, that's it. I'm going to chop off this portion. All right. Now the next thing to do is to draw this. Okay. Now this length, this is the overall length of the axis. We need to check as to how much the length is. The length of the axis is given as 50 millimeters. All right. So we need to draw a line over here. $50 millimeters. All right. That's it. Let's finish this. Now guys, please have a careful look at this. This is the edge 1A, this is edge 5E, and this is edge D4. These 3 edges will be seen as solid lines from the top. So these are the solid edges and can be seen. Okay, and as far as these 2 edges are concerned, 2B edge and 3C edge, they won't be seen. Okay, so the edges which can be clearly seen are to be drawn darkened up. Okay, so those edges are 1A, 5E and 4D. All right. Even this one, the middle one. Now these edges cannot be seen directly, but in order to make their presence felt, we'll give them some respect. And for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark them by hidden lines. Exactly, something like this. Now this is visible, this is visible. It may this appears as a line, but in fact this is nothing but a pentagon. All right, it appears as a line. Let's darken them. Okay, so the front 5 corners were A, B, C, D, E, whereas the back corners were 1 2 3 4 5. That right? So the front corner A, this is A dash, and its corresponding top view will be somewhere here. So this is going to be A, simply A. And similarly, this is, if this is B dash, this has got to be B. This is going to be C. This over here is obviously, this is D. Okay, so its corresponding top view is D. And this finally, guys, we have this E. Its corresponding, this is E, and its corresponding top view will be somewhere here. Similarly, we will do the numbering for the back side pentagon also. So this is the pentagon at the front, and this one is the pentagon at the back. So we have this A, B, C, D, E in the front, and 1 2 3 4 5 at the back. So this over here is 1. This has got to be 2. That's 3. That's 4, and finally we have this as 5, right? So we've now successfully created step number 1. Now let's head over to step number 2, where we are going to incline this Okay, keep this top view at an angle of 45 degrees. Okay, that's exactly how this pentagon is going to be kept. This edge over here, it would appear from the top view that this edge is making a certain angle with the vertical plane, and that is in fact I guess 45 degrees. All right, if the axis makes a certain angle, then all these edges are going to make the same angle with the vertical plane. Now you guys can see that I've made this line, and I'm going to recreate this figure. All right, so I'm going to make a point over here, and this guys is what you call 0.5. Please watch this carefully. This is an extremely important step. I'm going to zoom on it. Now this length is actually 50. All right, so with this guy as center, I'm going to put up an arc of 50. All right, so now I have it, this point as E. Okay, so now I have got 5. Now I've got E. I need to locate A, B, C and D. Okay, it's going to be pretty simple. Please watch the steps carefully and you will be through with no real fuss. Right, so that's 5E. Now the next thing to do is to you see these lines. Okay, so these lines are actually pretty much what do you call, at a 90-degree angles with this line over here. So these lines are at an angle of 90-degree line to each other. So what I'll do is I'll make lines over here at a 90-degree angles to this line over here. Fine. Okay, so let's see how that can be done. All right, so what's the next step? You need to take arcs from 5 to 3. So 3 will be somewhere here, and then from 5 to 4, or you can also take an arc from 3 to 4. Okay, I'm going to show you right now to locate 5 to 3 and from 5 to 4. It's going to be pretty simple. Please watch them carefully, and for that you need to take an arc from 5 to 3. Okay, you can use a compass for this. This is working out as 13. All right, so what I'll be doing is okay, so that's an arc. Again, I'll be putting one more arc. Now this is going to work out as, I guess it's going to be 20. All right. So now that we have put up those arcs, so this is going to be 0.3 obviously, and this is what you call 0.4, right? Okay guys, the next thing to do is to repeat the same process of putting up those arcs for over here. Okay, I'm going to just copy this, and finally it should look something like this. All right, now let's join all these points. Now let us darken all these lines which are perfectly visible from the top, and these are what you call the hidden lines, broken lines. All right, so right now I'm going to chop off the portion which is not desired. This way. So fine guys, this is how you can actually recreate the top view from step number 1 into step number 2 by ensuring that it makes a certain angle 45 degree with the vertical plane. So that's exactly how this task has to be accomplished, and now I'm going to write them. This is point E and this is got to be point A. Then next thing to do is to draw vertical lines from this object over here and to draw horizontal lines towards the right. Okay, and finally these lines are going to intersect at different points. So the horizontal lines are almost done. I mean, this line accounts for 5 and E, and this line over here accounts for 4D, 1A, and this line, already drawn line, the XY line overlapping, accounts for 2, B, C and 3. Fine. So right now we're going to draw these so-called vertical lines from let me first write the name of this point. This is 1, this is 2. Okay, so let's start by drawing these vertical lines. That's it, guys. Now our task is almost done. The next thing to do is to locate 5 points at the front and 5 points at the back. Now one thing is for sure, that this pentagon over here, when you look at this object over from here, I'm going to draw an arrow. So when you look at this object from here, okay, so this pentagon ABCDE pentagon will be evident. Alright, although its true shape will not be evident, but the pentagon will be in some kind of squeezed manner. It would appear as if it is squeezed or compressed laterally. Alright, so we have this this vertical line for A, and we have this horizontal line for A, and both these lines intersect somewhere here. So I'm going to write here this vertical line for A and this horizontal line for A. So this is going to be A dash, obviously. Now similarly, this is going to be, this vertical line is for B, you can clearly see, and this horizontal line is for B. So they intersect somewhere here. So this is going to be for point B dash. Alright, similarly we have this as C dash. Now we're going to join all these points with the help of a dark line. In fact, let's do this quickly. Now guys, one thing is for sure, that this pentagon can easily be seen from the front. Okay, this pentagon can be seen, and a particular portion of this pentagon can also be seen from 5 to 1. Alright, so we are now interested in locating these points over here, and this line is for 5, and you can clearly see this horizontal line is for 5. So over here we are going to have point 5 dash. Now let's locate 1 dash. So this line, horizontal line, is for 1, and this vertical line is for 1, this horizontal line is for 1. So we have here 1 dash. Similarly, you can figure out this point as obviously 2 dash. This over here is 3 dash. That's 4 dash, and finally we have this. Now let's speak of these so-called these edges from A to 1. So the edge from A to 1 will be seen. Okay, it's evident. So the edge from E to 5 will also be seen. Okay, E to 5. I'm talking about this edge, E to 5. Alright, so let's make this edge a bit darker. Edge from A to 1 can also be seen easily. So we're going to make it darker. At the same time, edge from B to 2 will also be seen. Let's make it dark. And finally, as I said, that this 5 1 2 portion of this pentagon can also be seen. So we're going to darken this. Okay, so that's almost done, and we now have in front of ourselves a pentagon which has been kept an angle of 45 degrees, ensuring that one of its rectangular faces lies entirely in the horizontal plane. Okay, so these are the solid lines which can be seen directly. The ones which cannot be seen are to be given some respect in the form of drawing the so-called hidden lines. So we're going to join this 5 dash with 4 dash, 4 dash with 3 dash, and then over here what I'm going to do is I'll make a line, especially this D4 line. So this, some portion of this D4 line is lying behind this solid line, so nothing can be done. But as far as this much portion of the line is concerned, we're gonna make it hidden. This one also will be made hidden, and on doing so it should look something like this. Please watch carefully. That's it. That's almost done. Let me write the angle over here. So this is obviously 45 degrees, and that's it, guys. This dimension is also left. Let me do this. So this is actually 50 millimeters if I'm not wrong. Yeah, pretty much. So one arrow from top to bottom because we drew the front view first, and then the other arrow from bottom to top because we drew the top view in step number 2 initially, and then its corresponding front view was made. So guys, that was all from my side. If you have any doubts or queries, write them down in the comment section below. I hope you like the content. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Thank you for watching. See you again. Take care and keep drawing.